everyone, and welcome to today's video. Welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, you guys are the real OG. And if you're just coming across this beautiful face for the first time, my name is Oluwafisayo Adeboboye. I am a small YouTuber, a content creator, and a mental health nurse. I reside in England, Manchester. And today we're going to be discussing a topic that many mothers or many family might be considering, or whether you're even in the process of getting it done. And I'm just going to be discussing the pros and the cons of having two on the twos. Do you guys think it is easy? Do some of you think it is difficult? Join me as I'll be diving into the pros and the cons of having two on the two. Let's get started. So first, let's talk about the pros, and everybody will agree with me that one of the biggest advantages of having two on the twos is because you're still in that baby phase, so adjusting back is not really difficult. Because for me, I think it is easier because you don't have to start all over again. I mean, you're different from someone that has had like the first child 10 years ago, and they're just having to start all over again. The baby cries, the nappy routine, the feeding routine is still in your system. All you need to do is just like take 2 steps backward, or like another person that they have to take like 200 steps backward. So I think the adjustment is always very fast. And I would say the second pro for me is that you're going to have like 2 children grow up like almost together. My first child and my second child, I just have like 20 months apart. So by the time they grow up together, the things that I struggled with my first child, I might not have to struggle with my second child, because I mean everything is still fresh in my head. And those things that we did not teach the first one, because everyone knows that the first children, they're usually like the try and error, like they're the sample kind of people, they're the guinea pigs. Yeah, they're the guinea pigs. So with the second child, of course, you've learned by experience from the first child, and you would not be making the same mistake with the second child. And I've often heard people say, oh, my first child did not do this early, probably did not do that early, but with the second child, oh, the second child was actually working faster, crawling faster, speaking faster. That is just because they already have one person in front of them that they can actually model. I mean, when you see the first child like speaking and everything, the second child would learn easily of that person. I would say that is another very big pro for me when it comes to having two on the two. Another thing I'll consider an advantage is just getting through the baby phase once and for all. You know, I've always heard this popular saying, or this advice that people say, see, just do everything at once, so that you just do all the troubles at once and then you get to rest. But believe me, it might be a little bit difficult, like when you have them closely related, because there are some days, like I mentioned in my previous video or like my first video, there are days that I am a mess, the house is a mess, because as you're changing this person's diaper, you're also attending to this person, you're feeding this person, you're shouting at your toddler not to do this, you're telling him. So it could be really intense in the beginning, especially if you don't have help around. Or once you manage to get through that phase, like the crying phase, this phase, believe me, it gets easier. And at the time this your newborn now becomes a toddler, you will know that you have 2 toddlers to literally shout and scream and tell them not to bring their house down. But when you have a toddler and a baby, it could be really significantly stressful, because you have a toddler, and you know toddlers, they have no respect for rules. If you don't understand that, come to my house and come and meet my toddler. It doesn't have regard for rules. When you tell him not to do it, that is when they want to go and do it. When you tell them to sit down, even though they've been sitting down, they've been complying, that is when they want to stand up. The things that you tell them not to do, they do the direct opposite. But with the baby, obviously, they're still really dependent on you. And that is one thing that I think I'm enjoying with the toddler stage. Like, I mean, I can tell my toddler, go and do this, go there, sit down there, don't do that. But with the baby, they are totally dependent on you. Once you can pass that baby phase and the children develops a level of independence, you feel a tiny bit relieved. Now, having shared some of the advantages, some of the pros, I would not end this video without also talking about some of the cons. The first thing that is on my list, and every parent, even if you're a parent to 1 or to 2 or to even a grown-up, you would know that the stress involved in having 2 kids almost at the same time is really, really intense. I have mentioned that sometimes it gets so intense because the moment you're dropping this one, like maybe your baby is just starting to settle down and starting to sleep, your toddler is here and there, probably just messed up the house. I cannot count the amount of times that I get to pick up things, that I get to clean. I was ranting to my younger sister some couple of days or weeks ago that every day, no matter how much I clean the house today, I would always find something to clean. I would always find something to wash. I always find something to pick. So ranging from the feeding, the diaper change, the potty training, everything can be intense because even the tiny little break that you have, you want to eat, you eat like a criminal, you eat like a thief. And for people that know me, I always like to sit down, chill, watch TV while I'm eating. I almost cannot eat without watching anything. But now sometimes even from the kitchen I'm already eating my food because I know that there is no time to sit down and relax the way I want to eat. You will literally start eating like a thief in your own house. So the stress, the fatigue involved is not a child's play at all, as in it is second to none. But like I said, if you can manage to go through the baby phase and both of them are toddlers, I am hoping that it should be a tiny bit better. The next con on my list, the next disadvantage is actually that you have less one-to-one time with each of them. And this was my major worry. This was my greatest worry when I found out that I was pregnant with Ariolua, because I didn't know how Diako was going to react when we had baby. I didn't know how I was going to manage giving both of them the attention, because I always say to people when they say, oh Diaka, you're not a big brother, you're this, don't you know you have a sister? I'm always like, please, we were the ones that upgraded him early. We upgraded him early. He's still a baby. I mean, as at the time I had Diako was just 20 months old, so he's still a baby. So my greatest fear was, how would I manage my time? How would I manage my attention with both of them? Because you might think that these kids do not pick up on your body language or whatever, but these kids that were giving birth to these days, I don't know the kind of clay God used in forming these people. They are very, very observant. They see your reaction, they notice. And one thing you do not want to do, or one thing you do not want to cultivate, you might think that they are too small to even understand the meaning of sibling rivalry or what it entails, but you will find out that once they start growing and they notice that, oh, the baby is getting more attention, more than what mommy and daddy is giving me, it might make them to start throwing tantrum. They might have regression, developmental regression, just because they want you to spend that time. I mean, even me as an adult, it is not easy to share my space with somebody else, because especially when I know that I am always getting the attention, it's going to be very difficult for me to share my attention or my space. Do you understand? So if me as an adult can feel frustrated, how much more kids, which that at this stage they don't even know how to regulate their emotions. So that is another major disadvantage of having two on the twos or three on the threes, whatever you guys might want to call it. At some point you have to share your attention. Sometimes I don't always have a choice. I always just have to leave one to attend to one, because there is no how, especially on days that my husband gets to go to work, there is no how I can manage with both of them. So one person will have to suffer with less attention while I attend to the other one. But one thing I always make sure to do is every single day I always make out like playtime with both of them, so that they can see, and even make it better, we play with both of them together, so that they can understand that one person is not less of a baby than another person. And in that way it will actually help to develop good relationship between both of them, because they are growing together, and we don't want them to grow together thinking, oh, mommy and daddy loves this one better than another one. So that is another major disadvantage I would say is attributed to having two kids closely to each other. The last on my list that I'll talk about is the financial strain, because it's double the food, double the diaper, double the care, double the money for clothes, double everything. If you're planning a holiday, you have to consider your flight ticket money, you have to consider everything. So everything now is double the price. The financial strain is not a joke. It is not a joke. It is very, very stressful. And in this era of cost of living crisis, even though you might still be able to save like a little on clothing, because probably your first child have some clothing or did not use some clothes, and you can then hand it down to the smaller one, you still have to buy clothes. Take for example for me, My baby boy had some clothes that he wore like maybe just once or twice, but I have a baby girl. Though some of his clothes she was able to wear, or she's still able to wear now, um, she won't continue wearing dark colored clothes. I mean, black, blue, those were literally most of the colors that I shopped for my baby boy. And for the girls, you know, you always have to like go all out, like a little bit extra. So you still have to save money to buy some of these things for them. And even the activities, you want to take them to the park, you want to take them swimming, you want to take them. I mean, the financial struggle is endless. Some of you might ask, like, how does it actually feel? How do you feel when you see your two kids? To be honest, there is no greater gift. There is no greater joy in seeing your two babies. My heart just melts. But the struggle is real. There is nobody that will tell you that raising two on the twos is easy. Believe me, it is not for the faint-hearted. But here is the thing. There is no perfect timing. There is no set timing to you having your kids, as long as it is something yourself and your husband have sat down together and talked about. Even though you guys did not even plan to have a second one and it just happened, like in our own case, you can still sit down, talk about the options, plan on how you want to go about childcare and everything. But there is no perfect timing. There is nobody that should come and tell you after you've had your first child you should have your second child 2 years after, 5 years after. As long as you're healthy, you're in the right space with your finances, and you guys are just in that headspace to have another one, I mean, go ahead. Parents, they thrive in chaos. And some people, like when I mean chaos, it means like in my situation, having two of them close together. And some people, they always want that extra time, probably because they just need time to chill out, their body needs to heal. You know, they still want to slay a bit before they go back to face the realities. But believe me, there is no perfect timing. Nobody should actually have that say over your family as to where to give birth. I mean, God gives freely. And there you have it, the pros and the cons of having two on the twos. If you already have your own two on the twos and you can relate to what I'm saying, the only thing I can just tell you is well done. And if you're still expecting your own on the way, you already have your baby coming anytime soon, I want to say congratulations. And I hope this video helps you prepare, gives you the heads up that you need to prepare yourself, like get yourself up, so that you don't get surprised. And remember that every family is unique. What works for my family might not work for yours. What is the best for your family might not be the best for my family. So always make sure that you understand your family dynamics before you plan. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more parenting tips and advice. And until I see you in my next video, bye.